All right, well, this is the very first video. I actually created a few videos that I'm going to upload as my first video, but then I realized, well, I should probably just make a quick introductory part of the video. So I am Cheryl. I go by Cheryl Estelle Art, and I wanted to start this YouTube channel, The Soul's Endeavor, because I am going through a lot of transitions, but this has been an idea for a long time to share my journey of sort of creative transitions, slash faith, slash being 51 and kind of rebuilding my life again with the intention of building a life that I have no regrets from. And having learned a lot in the journey of life, as we all do, I just felt there are some things that I would love to share that hopefully might help you on your journey, inspire you, maybe it will bring up some questions for your own life. And I always feel that whatever we can share to help others along, and we all have a unique perspective, that it's of value. And so I wanted to start this because I've learned from so many people and I continue to, and I just wanted to share my journey and maybe you'd like to come along with me. So the first video I'm going to be sharing right after this it was the very last day of my job at a tavern I've been at for 4 years, and I'll explain more of it there. So I just wanted to briefly introduce myself and thank you for visiting my channel. Hopefully you can subscribe and hopefully you can come along this journey with me because it is literally just beginning. All right, thank you. All right, I am trying out my new mic here. If you can see it, actually I'm going to put my sweatshirt on, so I'm going to take it off for a minute. Oh, it's supposed to be paired. I don't even know. I've never used this before. I just charged it, and I'm going to have a snack, and then I'm going to share about this pivotal day with you because I have been working here for the past 4 years, and today is my last day, my last shift, I should say. Let's see, will that do it? Will that work? Oh, hold on. Is that working? Hold on. Oh, okay. That seems pretty powerful, so. All right, I think we're good. Let me grab my bar. My favorite bar ever. Okay, so today is my last shift, and I am recording this because it is the start of a new chapter for my life, for diving into a business that is brand new for me, my art business. Oh, wow. Okay. I realized that maybe eating my bar while trying to do this wasn't the best idea. So this is a very big day. And why I'm sharing this is because for the last 4 years, I'll be honest, it's been nice. It's been nice being an employee. Before that, I was self-employed for 16 years with a Pilates studio, small from my home, just, the Pilates Reformer Cadillac. And it enabled me to raise my daughter. It was wonderful, and I love my clients. But when COVID happened, on March 17th, that day, I was also, I guess, true, if I'm being honest, deep down, I think I was ready for a change. So change happened. Wasn't my choice, but it happened. And then that was it. I took a year off actually, and then I started serving. And then I I did a few things, and then I ended up at Quaker, and that was in 2022 or 2021, December 20th, anyway. A lot of 20s. Excuse me. And so it was great because I didn't have to worry. I didn't have all the responsibility of, managing all of everything. It was like I go to work, I work, I get to move around and talk to people, which I love, and I paid my bills. And so 2023 happens, and as a last-ditch effort for someone I was dating, actually, I bought 2 Bob Ross class tickets, and we didn't make it till the date we start of the classes. It was for Valentine's Day. So I separated the tickets and I took a class. And what I remember vividly is for the first time, and it was a long class, it was 5 hours, but for a long time, I just was present. I was nowhere else. And I was like in this canvas, and I really didn't know what I was doing too much, but I trusted the process, and I was kind of like impressed. I was like, oh my gosh, like I created something, but it was not about that. It was about, I think a lot of us can relate to like ADD, or, I'm not saying I have that, but I'm saying I think in general, we have so much information consuming. We're always consuming that, so many things ask and, beckon for our attention, that when we can just be present, it really was such a gift. And then I took the next class and I felt the same way. And I was like, what is this about? And I didn't even know you could become a Bob Ross instructor, but that's what I did. So I went to Indiana. I did my first week, and then they have to invite you back. And then I got invited back, and I went to Florida because it was December. Like, why not? I'm from Massachusetts, so it was cold. And I went to Florida, New Smyrna Beach, and did my last 2 weeks with the wonderful Nick Hansen. And, it was, so I was still working my Tavern job. And, at first, even to fund all the Bob Ross stuff, I started a pet sitting, dog walking business. So I was doing that to build up to get all the Bob Ross stuff happening. Well, then there's all this stuff you need, right? Easels and paints and brushes, and none of it's cheap. So again, I just kept working and practicing and started classes. In fact, I think my first class was at the Polish Hall, January 28th of 2023. And so now it's 2026, February 20th, another 20. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I think back early, maybe 2024, I joined the Artist Academy with Andrea Earnhardt, and I wanted to do more. And I think just how my brain works is like, okay, like, yes, classes are great, but it's not going to be my full-time gig. So I wanted to do murals and windows and all this stuff. But, obviously, like, I had a lot to learn. And so I just kept learning. And I think that's part of my nature. I do love to learn. Well, anyway, now I've done a lot of windows. I think my first winter was the end of 2024, and I had like 5 windows. I was so excited. And then this past winter, 2025, I think I had like 12 windows. And I really haven't advertised, by the way. It was just like, I do as good as I can. I love doing it. I love painting and making people happy. And, that just started happening. And then I did my first mural at the Quaker Tavern. I did the side of the wall last summer, July 4th. I started it that hot week. It was like in the 90s all week. And I was, and it came out, I thought it came out pretty good. And it definitely like elevated the look of just the plain siding. And then I did a retaining wall. That was actually for my parents. It was beautiful, like, and I'll show all the pictures when I edit this. And then I got my first big job, which I'm still doing. So 15 murals for a pediatrician's office. I just finished mural number 8, so I have a few more to go. before, well, okay, let me back up. So I went to Costa Rica on my birthday, 123, January 23rd. I was supposed to go the 25th, but we had that big storm. And I went to Costa Rica, and I knew deep down I needed to be around people that were doing what I wanted to do. I needed to be around people ahead of me, you know, the big dogs. Like I always knew I'm only going to get as good as who I surround myself with. And so I went, and it was such an experience because my mom has also been having health issues that day. In fact, they thought she had a heart attack my birthday, and she went to the hospital. She's home now. She's, you know, dealing and trying to get better and all that, but it was a very spiritual experience as well. And I realized that, you know, A, life is so short. B, I think travel and getting out of your comfort zone is so good, so good in ways like it's hard to articulate. But I saw a different version of myself. I think when you travel, you also have to step out of that comfort zone version of yourself. So I did. And I met some wonderful, wonderful humans that are artists and doing all sorts of things. A lot of them had faith, and that is something that meant a lot to me because I found Jesus again, I would say, at the end of 2020. That's a whole nother story. But so it's like this very, it was a very meaningful trip on so many levels. And so when I came back, I had already been getting, because I had, originally it was like 5 shifts, then it went down to 4 shifts, then I let go of my bar shift, then it was just 2 days. And every time I had a lot of windows coming up, so 4 times a year, I would get rid of Thursdays, get somebody to cover. And I was always just feeling like trying to keep up, you know. And I know a lot of people that understand this, like you spread yourself so thin. And it's like, I think now being 51, I'm starting to be like, okay, like there's importance with balance. I appreciate balance. I need balance. And things were not balanced. And that day I was coming back from Costa Rica. I was going to let go of Thursdays, but spending some time in prayer, I was like, no, it's like, I felt like it was time. And I'm like, I was not planning to leave. But again, you know, I always said, well, the money will show me when I'm ready to leave. And that's happened. But also my heart and where I feel, you know, God is calling me to next. And that is where it is a soul's endeavor, right? It is not laid out. You don't have a plan, everything, you know what's going to happen. It's sort of like stepping out of that comfort zone, stepping out onto the water, so to speak, and trusting and saying, okay. At 51, I never thought I'd be starting something completely different, completely new. And it gives me peace. My art speaks for me. I don't have to, like, it's not about me. I also praise the Lord for giving me the gifts He's given me, so many over my life. And I'm so grateful. And I don't want to think, oh, it's me. No, these are gifts. And I know that. I'm full aware of that. And I'm so grateful and so thankful to share my art and make people smile or improve a space. And so I'm starting this podcast and a YouTube channel because I'm going to share my journey. Again, going back to my mom, or, you know, in life in general, I'm 51, in 20 years I'm going to be 71. And I think when you're young, it's time, you get so much time. And then as you get older, you're like, oh, well, yeah, no, I'm not going to be here forever. But I know so many people have blessed my life with sharing their journeys and podcasts I listen to. And I want to share mine. And maybe it will encourage you. That's my hopes. And maybe it will lead you to the Lord. And that would be even more important. But I think a soul's endeavor is living a life you have no regrets looking back. And we all have so many regrets doing things we would not do in hindsight, but we live and we're human, and that's the experience that we have. So I'm going to share mine. And I just want to invite you along for the ride, for the journey, to, you know, let me know what you think, share experiences, questions, whatever if you feel so inclined. But this is a changing point in my life, and I might maybe make a little bit of a snippet after work, but I've got to go because I don't want to be late for my last shift. And I just want to share this soul's endeavor, which is my experience. And I hope you come along for the journey. All right. Well, my shift is over, my last shift. And it's really hard to explain how I feel because honestly, I kind of feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like crying. I almost feel like it's surreal, maybe a little bit numb, a little bit like a big chapter of my life is just closed, and I don't know, maybe I don't know how I was expecting to feel about it. I feel a little flat. Maybe that's the word. And it's a little scary. But I know being scared can also be exciting. But right now I feel more sad, maybe a tinge with the flatness, because a chapter for over 4 years is shutting and I'm stepping into the unknown. And that is, for anyone that's done it, you know, it's pushing off from here. And I think I'm going to just go easy tonight. We have a storm coming in, so I actually got done early. And yeah, I just feel a little bit like I'm going to process this. And it'll be okay because the decision is made and there's no looking back. So here's to the future and to the next chapter, to be continued.